This American general was feared so much that sometimes his name alone felt like a warning. He did not move slowly. He did not wait for perfect conditions. And he never believed that war was won by fear. His name was George S. Patton. Some people saw him as a fearless hero. Others believed he was too harsh, too proud, and too dangerous. But one thing no one could deny: whenever Patton stepped onto the battlefield, everything changed. But before he became one of America's most famous generals, Patton was just a young boy with a dream, much bigger than himself. He was born into a family that respected soldiers, courage, and history. As a child, he never dreamed of an easy life. He dreamed of battlefields. He dreamed of honor. He dreamed of becoming a man history would remember. But Patton was not perfect. School was difficult for him. Reading was hard. Learning did not come easily. Many people in his place might have given up, but Patton had something stronger than talent. He had obsession. Every failure pushed him harder. Every weakness became fuel. And deep inside, he believed one thing: he was born to lead. As he grew older, Patton trained like a man chasing destiny. He studied military history. He learned about ancient warriors. He admired the great leaders of the past. But he did not only train his mind, he trained his body too. He became strong, disciplined, and competitive. Patton believed that a soldier must look fearless, speak with confidence, and move as if victory was already decided. He was not simply preparing for a career, he was preparing for war. And soon, the world would give him the battlefield he had been waiting for. When World War I began, Patton noticed something many soldiers still did not understand: tanks. At that time, tanks were strange, dangerous, and terrifying machines. Many people saw them as a risk, but Patton saw the future. He understood that wars would not always be won by slow movement. They would be won by speed, power, and surprise. So he became one of America's early tank commanders. He trained his men hard. He pushed them beyond comfort. And when the fighting began, he led from the front. Patton was wounded in battle, but even pain could not break his spirit. That war taught him a lesson he never forgot. A commander must be aggressive, because hesitation on the battlefield can cost lives. Years passed. The world changed. Then came World War II. And this was the war that would turn George South, Patton, into a legend. Patton was not the kind of general who stayed far behind the lines. He wanted action. He wanted movement. He wanted victory fast. In North Africa, his leadership helped rebuild confidence after difficult moments for American forces. His style was intense. His voice was powerful. His presence demanded attention. He believed soldiers needed discipline, pride, and courage. To Patton, an army should never crawl forward. It should strike like lightning. Then came Sicily. Patton moved fast, sometimes too fast for others to understand. He wanted to reach the enemy before the enemy could breathe. His tanks pushed forward. His soldiers kept moving, and with every mile his reputation grew larger. The enemy began to fear his speed, because Patton did not give them time to think. Before they could prepare, he was already coming. Before they could recover, he was already attacking again. He was not just leading an army, he was creating fear. But Patton's greatness had a dangerous side. He was brilliant, but he was also harsh. His words could inspire soldiers, but his anger could also hurt people deeply. During the war, Patton became involved in controversy after mistreating soldiers who were suffering mentally and emotionally. Many people were shocked. Some believed his career was finished, because even great leaders can make serious mistakes. And Patton's mistake showed the world something important. A strong commander still needs compassion. A fearless man still needs control. For a moment, the general who once seemed unstoppable was forced to step back. His glory became silence. His future became uncertain. But history was not finished with George S. Patton. Not yet. When the war reached one of its most desperate moments, America needed speed. It needed courage. It needed a commander who could move faster than anyone thought possible. And once again, Patton was called. During the Battle of the Bulge, American forces faced freezing weather, heavy pressure, and brutal fighting. The situation was dangerous. The roads were difficult. The weather was cruel. The enemy was strong. But Patton did something incredible. He turned his army and moved with unbelievable speed toward the fight. Soldiers were cold. Vehicles struggled. The pressure was massive. But Patton kept pushing forward. He believed victory belonged to those who refused to stop. And once again, his speed changed the battlefield. This was not just a military move. It was a statement. Patton was back, and the enemy knew it. George S. Patton survived battlefields, bullets, and war. But after World War II, his life ended suddenly after a car accident. The man who had lived with fire, speed, and danger was gone. But his story did not disappear. Some remember him as a genius. Some remember him as controversial. Some remember him as one of the most aggressive commanders America ever produced. But everyone remembers this. Patton never lived like an ordinary man. He believed life was a mission. He believed fear had to be defeated. And he believed victory belonged to those who moved forward when others hesitated. George S. Patton was not perfect, but he was unforgettable. He was not just an American soldier. He was a storm in uniform. And when history speaks of fearless generals, his name still marches forward.